Hi everybody, it's Sakayla again. First thing I want to do is apologize about how late this post has been uploaded. I've just had a very busy, crazy week. But anyways, let's get this post started. I'm going to be talking about Huntington's disease. This is a genetic disorder. It's pretty fatal. It causes progressive breakdown of nerve cells in your brain. This disease is awful. It deteriorates your physical and mental abilities during prime years in your life, and there is no cure. I did find all of my information on the Huntington's Disease Society of America website. And another thing that I would like to bring up is, if you don't know what Huntington's disease is or looks like, I would definitely check this website out. And also just go to YouTube and Google Huntington's disease, and there are lots of videos of people affected by this disease that show you first and foremost what Huntington's disease does to you and what it looks like. And it is quite terrible. And the another sad part about this disease is it is hereditary, and every child that has a parent with Huntington's disease has a 50% chance of getting the disease. So let's say you don't have Huntington's disease, but your partner does, and you have a child together. That child has a 50% chance of getting the disease, which is scary. There are approximately 30,000 Americans with this disease, and there's about 200,000 at risk of inheriting the disease. Let me see what else we are supposed to talk about. If it doesn't really have a certain, I guess, sex or race that it's affected, it looks like it's pretty generalized. I'm also looking here. You want to know signs and symptoms, diagnosis, prognosis, treatment, current research, and any other information. Let me see what I have written down here. Okay. There are stages of Huntington's disease. It looks like, just have too much stuff going on here. Sorry. It looks like they do vary, which is pretty, normal for most diseases. The early stages are changes in control or coordination. Involuntary movement is the major change that notifies people. So if you're normally just a person who doesn't like jitter or anything like that, and just start having random movements, people are gonna be like, there's something going on here. And they have a change in their mentality and their thinking process, and they have a very irritable mood. This disease does not just affect your physical body, it affects your mind as well. This disease deteriorates your mind, body, and soul. It is awful. This disease deteriorates you. You can't work anymore. You're less functional. You can't do activities at home. Somebody will have to take care of you eventually when you get to the late stages. The middle stage, it starts to become a problem. You can take medication to provide relief from the movements. You can do physical therapy, but there's still no cure for this disease. You will start having speech and swallowing difficulty. You may need to speak with a speech therapist, and ordinary activities will start getting harder and harder. And the late stage is when you're totally dependent on other people for care. Choking is one of the biggest concerns in this stage, and during this stage, you can no longer walk, you cannot speak, and usually you can't comprehend much, and you don't have very much awareness of your family or friends. most of the time people die from complications of the disease, which kind of reminds me of like Alzheimer or dementia. Most of the time people die from the complications, not the actual disease. So like choking or infection, and things like that. And also, it looks like weight loss is a major concern of this disease. Say you're moving all the time, you don't want to eat because you're afraid of choking, you don't have the physical ability to do so anymore, or you just don't have the mentality to remember to eat or want to eat, which is awful. And it's really scary, I mean, just for the family, because you think, well, if I have a child, it could have this disease, and you would never want to think of your child being like this. It's a really progressive, terrible disease. They do have genetic testing for this disease. It's not a treatment or a cure, unfortunately, at this time. A lot of people see no benefit in this, but I personally think it can't hurt any more than it already is, because I mean, eventually this disease will be fatal and you will die, which is very sad. But the Huntington's Disease Society is doing all that they can with their research and the funding that they get. I'm trying to see here what else they have. The research has moved quickly, but still no search. They have goals. They have trials. I mean, it's pretty much the same with anything, any disease that's out there. They're trying to figure it out. There's trials out there, but I mean, there's no cure for this, just like there's still no cure for cancer. I mean, they're trying all that they can, but still, we're here, so... But a lot of the symptoms, I did touch on this, but most of the time the symptoms are personality changes, depression, mood swings, forgetfulness, impaired judgment, unsteady gait, involuntary movement, speech, difficulty swallowing, and a significant weight loss. Which significant weight loss can be associated with a bundle of diseases. So it would be really hard to narrow this down if all you said is, oh, I just had a significant amount of weight loss. If you don't provide them with any other information, or somebody that cares about you or somebody that is helping you doesn't mention the rest of this information, they're not going to know you have Huntington's disease and know what to do for you. It looks like that the symptoms usually appear between the ages of 30 to 50, and it worsens from over a time span of 10 to 25 years. It looks like most people die from pneumonia, heart failure, or just other respiratory or cardiac complications. Let me see what else we've got here that I wrote down that I thought was important. Not wrote down, I typed it up, but let's see. And if you ever need help with just the disease or any questions or concerns, contact your primary care provider. There's also groups that could help with this. You could just go to a group or find somebody local who's familiar with this, or just talking about it could help. If you or someone you know is the full-time caregiver for somebody with Huntington's disease, and you know that they are physically and mentally drained and they just need some time to themselves, educate them on respite care as well. It's not selfish to care for yourself as well. Just a few hours every once in a while could help you and help the person that you are taking care of with this disease. But I mean, like I said before, it affects everybody, both sexes, all races, all ethnic groups around the world. This is a sad, sad disease. It's definitely associated with your, where did I put it at? Chorea in your brain. That's what causes the involuntary movement and difficulty thinking. So I would definitely look into this website. It's HDSA.org, Huntington's disease Society of America. And there is unfortunately no cure to this disease, but you can definitely participate in the trials if you do have the disease to hopefully get answers to this. And where to find help, just you can go to this website, and they have nationwide network information, chapters, affiliations, centers of excellence. You can also email somebody off this site. You can enroll in a trial on this site. You can donate and support on this site. But anyways, Huntington's disease is a genetic disorder. It affects everybody. It is detrimental. It is fatal. And your children have a 50% chance of inheriting this disease from you. Again, if you still don't understand what this disease looks like, please look it up on YouTube or just Google it, and there are videos out there of people suffering from this disease. Thank you so much for your time.